Today's wish comes from Tracy Cote. Tracy is the Chief People Officer at Zenefits, and she is helping to lead a revolution in the way that people work remotely and in real time. Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
So you are at the forefront, along with many other Chief People Officers, of managing a brand new work from home revolution that has taken businesses, some of them, maybe not yours, by surprise. What have you learned about this, and what do you wish more people knew about it?
Well, I think, the key takeaway for me post-pandemic is that remote work works. And it's just as beneficial for the employers who embrace it anyway, as for the employees who get to be empowered to take a little more control over their own life and their own work schedules. I'm seeing managers everywhere realizing that they really can be more flexible, get more work done asynchronously, meaning everything doesn't have to be a real-time conversation. And that remote work works for a variety of roles, particularly in high tech, but not just in high tech. And at Zenefits, I'm delighted that we now have the ability to access a whole new set of diverse talent as a result of this when we think about our candidate pool. We had been actively exploring becoming more remote before the pandemic hit, but this sort of forced experiment definitely accelerated our move to remote first.
What do you see as the greatest benefits to the remote work? Is it the flexibility that it affords employees? Is it the ability to draw from a wider pool of talent? Where are the real opportunities for organizations like yours right now?
Well, I mean, I've been in HR for a long time, and I think understanding that people work best in different environments, sort of situational leadership, is one of the many opportunities that companies are now, sometimes not by choice, are figuring out how to embrace for the longer term. So setting up policies and guidelines for flexibility is really critical. Different people need to work at different times to be most productive. So allowing people to at least somewhat define, their own workflow is going to be part of this new normal. And I think, again, it's a boon for diversity if we do this right.
Where are some of the challenges that are inherent in the work from home environment? Some companies report a drop off in engagement. Others find it difficult for leaders to really keep a sense of connection between the team. What are some things that you've found to be helpful, and what can others learn from that?
Well, I think people have to get over the stigma between trust and time management, right? Traditionally, people in different time zones would experience this because they weren't always available to meet for a phone call or something like that. And now working parents and people who have other responsibilities at home in addition to work are feeling this. So managers really have to learn how to trust their team and provide them with not just the tools, but the flexibility as they switch to more remote. In-person meetings are great and all of that, but we're finding we can do many things virtually just as effectively. And the sooner we can help our managers and various companies figure this out, the better it's going to be for everyone.
What are some of the ways that managers right now who are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all these changes and maybe the new responsibilities placed upon them can make this shift more successful for themselves and for their teams?
Yeah, I think, a lot of people are defaulting to the fun stuff, right? We're going to have Zoom happy hours and Zoom bagels or whatever we're going to do to try to replace the in-office foosball and perks and, kind of stuff that brought people to the office. But work is no longer about where you go. It's kind of more about what you do, which arguably it always should have been about that. And maybe to a lesser extent, who with. So I think things we can do to help support managers are to help them stay connected with their employees and give them the tools and the resources to do that. So I think the three things off the top of my head, one is, some kind of collaboration tool, fix on something. At Zenefits, for example, we have our own proprietary tool called Zenefits. And a piece of that is a collaboration tool that allows us to have asynchronous communication. It pushes notifications to your phone. We have employee engagement surveys, and a lot of people will do that too to get a pulse. And then the last thing would be the performance management piece, which really moving away from that. Let's talk to our employees once a year about their performance, which is ridiculous.
Totally outdated.
Totally outdated. It's an antiquated concept anyway. So now is a great time to move that to a much more regular cadence of feedback and communication. And our system is actually super customizable and flexible, which I really like because not all HR systems are. And so, but you can do it on a pencil and paper if you want, right? And just talk to people and make it more about the conversation. But we've moved to a monthly cadence of conversation from a higher level goals and check-in perspective, just to make sure you're talking to your people.
So real-time conversations happening more often and making it just more a part of the everyday flow of work.
Absolutely. It's common sense, but that's not always so common.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Zenefits is on a great path. And Tracy, we thank you for sharing your wish.
Thank you for having me, Joe. It's great to meet you.